Hey,
Well, hello there.
what's going on? How y'all
How's life
doing?
treating you? What's going
What,
on? What's happening?
what's crack-a-lacking, peoples? What y'all doing? I mean, I'm feeling my very Beverly Leslie right now, and I feel
Right,
like I want to hang out with my business partner.
right. Karen Walker. I should have known I'd smell gin and regret.
Beverly Leslie, with your what she say with your she said, "Oh, with your head held so high, would you be my teacup poodle?" No, shit,
Right.
I'm mixing it up. Oh my god. Anyway, but yes, I am feeling this story of Leslie, the spirit of
Yep.
Leslie Gordon. Uh,
Yes. Sorry.
but yeah, those were some great moments. So, but it's Wednesday, people. What's going on? Y'all supposed to give us a. You know what? I think we need to change this the format around. I think we need to get a check in from everybody first before we start doing anything. Lord and behold, Mrs. Sugar Snap. Lord, baby, Jesus, I don't know where bi- bi- oh, baby. Mm, mm. All I got to say is,
She
darling.
gets the prize for tonight.
Right. All I got to say is, darling, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you are here.
Darling, darling, baby. Sugar, sugar, sugar. I don't know the fucking words. I said, you're everything that I ever hoped for in a woman. Oh, I give you plenty love because you deserve the best. You deserve much better than the rest. Ooh, and as long as I may live, you are my darling,
Darling, baby.
darling. Sugar, sugar love. Oh, speaking of which, best friend came in. So, y'all want to go see Patty LaBelle on December the 8th
Where?
at National MGM National Harbor?
I have never been there for a concert. So I think that's and because I just saw Bruno Mars is going to be there. I don't know when I think he's coming in August.
Yeah, I don't know. I just happened to come up on Facebook, and the tickets are only like $75 a piece. So if y'all want to go, I'll get the tickets.
I mean,
Okay.
let me cash app you now.
Best friend, wait till I get the total price. Don't worry about that yet.
Hold on 1 second. I believe somebody's actually knocking at my door.
Okay. You knew you had me with your sensuous charm. Yet you looked so alarmed as I walked on by. In awesome wonder, you had to know why I did not respond to carry on. Love me in a special way. What more can I say? Love me now. Love me in a special way. What more can I say? Love me now. Love me now. Oh, sorry. I'm being told to cut it. You know, that is That is literally the first purchase I made, first album I bought. It was actually a 45. It was Love Me in a Special Way on one side, and what was the other song that they had? Shit. Time Will Reveal, I think, was on the B side. And I was only like 12 or 13, so I was incredibly amused by taking the 45 and playing at 78, so it sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Kids at this is the 80s, so kids these days, 13-year-olds are grown as hell now. But when I was 12 or 13, we were still kids. At least I was. I mean, I know on the on North Philly, y'all was grown as hell, but in Clinton, Maryland, we were, young and innocent.
You might have been young, honey. You may have even had a bout or a run-in with innocence, honey, but you weren't innocent.
How very dare you?
I thought you were going to say rude, because that seemed more appropriate.
I mean, it's rude as hell, too. I mean, because I didn't lose my virginity for another year.
Now, if we're talking losing virginity, I didn't lose my virginity until I was 16.
Does that include over the shorts, over the shirt, under the pants action?
Yes, that includes actual intercourse with someone else. That was a female. And I'm sorry, it was 15 before I turned 16.
Notice how the time keeps getting younger as his memory clarifies.
No, because it was in the spring, and my birthday is not until June, so it was in the spring. I remember that very clearly.
All right. I mess with you. Best friend, I asked if you wanted to go see Patti LaBelle with me and Epic in December.
But while he was asking that, at the time, there literally was these two kids at my door talking about, would you like to donate to the Girl Scouts? First of all, neither one of y'all ain't got nothing on that said Girl Scouts. It's a boy and a girl. And then they both looking at me, and I'm looking at them like.
All right, so one more time.
Yes.
Hi. Would you like could you we're with the girl we're with the Girl Scouts, and would you like to make a donation?
No.
Now the roles are reversed. Now. Y'all better stop knocking at my goddamn door.
Sorry.
Open the door. Sees a bunch of kids and was like, okay, what do y'all want?
Sorry, ma'am, Mr. Sorry.
I am a man, damn it.
Sorry, we're with the Girl Scouts, and we wanted to know if you would like to make a donation.
Pause. What's he doing here?
That's my little brother.
Okay, so keep going with your little story.
That was it. We wanted to know if you wanted to make a donation to the Girl Scouts.
I make my donations through the purchase of cookies. Where's your cookies?
We don't have any more cookies, but we can take the donations.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Well, that would have been my thing. I'd have been like, I would have, because my fat assery would have been like, oh, sure, I'll buy a box or two of cookies. Y'all take Cash App? If they don't take Cash App, or nothing but Cash App. All they take is, if they don't take Cash App, then you're not getting no, because I don't carry cash, and I'm not letting you see that I keep cash in his apartment, because that's how you end up getting got. So
no clothes, nothing, no sign, no piece of paper, no
right.
Thing. And it was two kids. The one little boy looks like every little boy you can remember being like around that 6-7 years old that was playing in dirt and everything else, running around just wild, like that kid that grows up to be something kind of fine because he done played in all this other crap.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the one kid looked like. And then of course the girl looks a little bit larger. She was a little
She was the
full.
ringleader.
Yeah, but she had the very fuzzy ponytails that were like supposed to be, both supposed to be here, but one's here and one's here, and they curl down in different directions. And she still had her school uniform on, and she was looking at me, and I was looking at her, and I was like, "What, bitch? I can take you, but you can't take me." What?
And she looks at me,
And I
and I
looked
look at him, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and then I close the door in their face.
slam. Yeah,
Exactly,
so
Dylan. Not them lazily scamming.
listen,
You could at least listen. You could at least go to Kinko because here you go, right? Because you don't know them fucking kids from Adam. You could at least go to Kinko's and get a double-sided copy of the cookie list and then sign up for the shit. So you could be like, yeah, so Rebecca in 2C has bought cookies and so on and so forth. And then they get your $10, $15 and then they're never heard from again. So, I mean, I get that. But, you're not just going to come up here and talk about I'm with the Girl Scouts because, well, girl, I was with the Boy Scouts, 35 years ago. But the fuck?
I most certainly was. And listen, on my honor to do my due. Listen, we're not going to start that. But
yeah.
It wasn't even an adult with them. It wasn't even anybody. So that's why I was kind of like,
right. So that was definitely, that was the two of them. Like, we need money for now laters or some shit or some
and
chips.
Not even that.
And so they just decided they was going to walk around. So here's the stunt. Wait till you see them with their mama.
They ain't even go to another
Wait till you see them with their mother or father and be like, oh, hey, little Tina. When is the next Girl Scout meeting? Because I would love to donate. And then her mother looks at her like, what?
She not in the Girl Scouts.
Exactly.
Oh.
And then you hear them screaming upstairs. Now, I am 100% against physical discipline for children, but sometimes the kids got to learn a lesson. And the lesson is don't pull a stunt on a stunt queen. Because you remember that conversation we had in the chat back in the day, because all I will say is that there's a reason that our Facebook chat is called Stunt Queens, and I'm not gonna say nothing else, because everybody in that room had a little stunt story to tell, and some of them I was like, not you, not little Miss Angel or little Mr. Angel. I mean, I expected it of Epic. I expected it of Epic because we had already had a conversation. That's the only reason.
You clean that up, bitch. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
I mean, I already knew our tea, but some of the tea that was spilled in that room that night, I was like, well, damn.
It was a little heavy. It was a
little bit like, girl, this needs to be on like a burner account or something.
Yeah, it was a little. It was one of the things you read through all the messages, you're like, damn, I think I'm gonna have to drink something. Oh, this is some bullshit. Like,
right. I'm gonna have to delete this whole account and disavow any knowledge. Anyway, so how was your week?
So my week has been pretty good. I must confess, I did not make it the entire 2 weeks with the damn heart monitor. I'm just being honest. But they had a solid 8 days, 7 days or 8 days. So listen, we are good. That was a whole week and we are good. I mailed that back to them. We're going to figure that out. I go on Tuesday to either do my stress or the treadmill test. I can't remember. It's one of them is on Tuesday. So I got to go do that. But so far the week has been good. I've been working from home. And again, it's that really weird time in the year as far as work is concerned, because we're ending out the academic year. We're starting another semester, but then we are also shifting gears from specific things with the new incoming freshmen that involve everybody, but is focused on my department. So it's been a push-pull. It's been a push-pull shit show for me. So we've been pushed in one direction, pulled in another direction, and it's been a shit show because every day you're asking me for something different. And
Right.
so, but I've been trying to rise to the occasion. But this time of year, baby, and I explained to my boss. I said, listen, y'all got me for this first year, this first go around, this first cycle. Y'all got me. I can't even lie. Y'all got me. It's gonna probably be my worst performance because I'm trying to figure y'all out. I'm trying to figure out your process. I'm trying to figure out the extra added bullshit that y'all got going on here, which I see a lot of. Okay, this is where we are. So now that I know where we are, now that I know where we stand, baby, we're good. We're gonna start shutting a lot of this shit down before it even happens. Mental notes, like, starting in August. Okay, so now okay. Listen, we're gonna shut this down. We're not doing that. We don't have the capability of that. If you want us to do that, these are things we need. So listen, I'm ready to start this year over again. So, but other than that, the week itself has been pretty good. Celebrated. What did we celebrate? We celebrated something. Well, Friday. I'm sorry. Was it? No, it was Thursday. Last Thursday, which was the day after the show, was Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Appreciation Day. So I just hope everybody got their Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I'm just saying. I hope they did.
I did not know that.
Yes, it was an actual day. One of our brothers.
I think I actually celebrated it on Friday.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a little behind, so I did have to go and get and stock up for. And I knew I was going to have fun this weekend, so I have some on deep freeze now. So when I bite into them, it's going to give me everything I need. So, let's see what else. I went to a concert this weekend to go see. It was like a wine festival out in the park. Grace and I went. So Will and Grace are out there at the park. Grace has her umbrella on top of hers, and I didn't have my umbrella on top of my chair. Baby, I sat outside in that sun, and I was sitting there. I was about to melt like a pat of butter. I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" But I had a good time. We were just out there chilling, and I think I had found I'm not gonna not advertise for Coyote Bites, but baby, I think I done found something better than Coyote Bites because I was sitting there in that sun, and baby, when I tell you I was fried, died, and laid to the side, baby, I was fried, died, and laid all the way to the side. So, but it was a good weekend. It was very relaxing. It was cool. I even had a little DNA appointment. So I mean, listen, it was a good weekend for me. It was a good week for me.
Good.
Mm-hmm. How was yours?
It was good. Work continues to be worky. We finally finished that totally unnecessary training, and so I'm going to have to dedicate part of my weekend to doing the resulting tests from the training because you got to do those. So that's bullshit. But other than that, work is work.
Okay.
This weekend we went to Cleveland to celebrate the boy's 50th birthday. He is in the air right now on his way from Detroit to London to celebrate his 50th. He got renamed over the weekend, so now he is autonomous.
Oh, okay, all right,
yeah.
Okay.
So that is his
go on with your badass self, you motherfucker.
Yes. And then we did some shopping and hanging out, and all of that was cool. Then on what was that, Sunday? This dude hit me up on the Jacks. Well, he hit me up via text, and the first sign was the fact that I didn't have his fucking number saved. So you know how that goes. So that's already like my indication to myself that this wasn't going to go anywhere. Because if you've said, if I've texted with you, that means there was at least enough interest to want to, from wherever we met, BBRT, Jack, Grinder, or whatever, there was at least a little bit of interest there because I gave you my phone number.
Right. And there's some breadcrumbs that you can remember what the hell the conversation was.
Right. But then if the conversation didn't really go anywhere, then the number doesn't get saved. So then when this person randomly hit me up out of the blue, I was like, what the fuck is this? Then when he even said who his name was, because this is why. Because we exchanged 1, 2, 3 messages, 4 messages on January the 20th. one message. He messaged me on January the 28th, and then nothing until was this actually yesterday? Bitch, this was yesterday. I thought, child, I thought this was
This was 5 months later.
exactly. And then but let me go back to
Or 4 months later, rather.
to the beginning. So let me go to this actual message. So this was the start of our conversation on January 14th. My profile on Jack says, I don't respond to pictures to profiles without pictures. So you either got to have pictures on your profile or you got to unlock your pictures or do something. So he unlocked his pictures and said, I unlocked my pictures. You are everything in all caps. Would love to chill with you. Smaller frame guy with here. Because I always say in my profile, I'm a big person, looking for, someone smaller to toss around and do all sorts of things with. I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. He says he's in Raleigh and all of this stuff. And I'm a shorter, slim guy, would love to chill with you. I'm also looking for a potential daddy like you, very interested. He says, I would love to be your boy. You are everything. And the picture, of course, is now hidden back behind the wall. But at the time, I must have liked it enough to give him my number. All right, so we're chatting yesterday, apparently. And then he says, I said, I am going back through our conversation and realizing we haven't chatted since our initial contact. It's critically important to me that I am honest with you up front, because it felt like he was trying to develop something. First of all, he lived all the way in Raleigh, so that's already off. Now, when he did message me yesterday, he did say that he was going to be in town this weekend. But I don't do pop-ups. I do planned visits because I already know what I'm doing this weekend, and it was not going to be him.
Yeah, what is that? I think that book, The Rules, say you need to know what you're doing by Wednesday of that week.
Right. I mean, and it's fucking Memorial Day weekend, too. Yep. So, yep. I mean, I know you came to town all hot and heavy, but so here's what I said. I said, I have a slave who is also my boyfriend, and he is my primary partner. While I do have lots of fun with others, it's usually when I travel, as I spend much of my free time with him. He says, cool, I was open for a nice friendship, and he hasn't responded since. And I was like, girl, but that's not what any of your conversations said to me. But I don't really care ultimately. I just thought it was an interesting talking point for the show that, we've all been through this where the kids are like, hey, daddy, I can't wait for you to fuck me or whatever. And then you're like, well, I got a man or whatever reason. And then they're like, oh, I was just looking to be friends. I was like, girl, if you were just interested in being my friend, why do I know what your insides look like?
Baby, you and I both had this conversation about this one particular person that keeps revving up the engine, and it never turns into anything.
Right. So that was just amusing to me. So we talked about that guy. We talked about that. Oh, so I have watched the first 2 episodes of Drag Race, and I have observations.
So,
okay. Quick observations.
All right. So listen, here's the thing. We
are not going to be reviewing all of these episodes.
We said we're not reviewing Drag Race. And this is All Stars. And so we used to do All Stars as well. This All Stars, I'm finding it interesting for some reason, because for some reason I'm finding it more interesting than the regular Drag Race was. Now, yes. I've been watching it on a pretty regular basis, because I think we'll be at episode 4 this weekend or something like that.
This weekend will be 4, yes.
Yeah, so I'm caught up or whatever. But yeah, I do think that it does get better once you get past the first 2, because it was good once you get past the first.
I mean, the first 2 were not terrible, but I still have observations.
Well, yes.
My first observation is that HD is not your friend
for many of people.
Either that or these girls just do not know how to paint for TV, because all of these hard ass lines, and I get that, apparently the style now is for everyone to have breastplates, which is cute. But I think of like Shaquita. When we all know that Shaquita don't have titties like that, so that's fine. But the breastplate is always covered by a big chunky necklace, so you do not see the interface between where her skin stops, like right here, and where the breastplate is. But like Jimbo had on this breastplate, and you could see this hard ass line where the breastplate stopped. And I was just like, girl, these are supposed to be all-stars. I would think that these girls know how to tuck. And Lala Ree with these hard ass paint lines on her fucking face, and Heidi. And I mean, I get that that is a style, but it's just a little harsh to me.
So I think that so it's so funny because I was having this same conversation with Spill It Boy. So I was talking to him about it, and I think everybody knows we had this conversation. You know, he does drag and he's competed, he's won like lots of stuff. So we talked about that, and I was like, because I thought Lala Ree's makeup when the season that she was on Drag Race, it was
delicious,
stunning. Like she was that deep,
it feels
dark,
like
delicious makeup person. She looked good everywhere we went. And so we started having this conversation. And so Spielberg was saying to me, he was like, sometimes when people gain weight or lose weight, they sometimes don't know how to paint their face again. They're so used to painting their face at what it was that they don't know how to paint their face to what it actually is. And so I had to really think about that. And I was sitting there thinking about the placement because I've literally watched some of the girls divide their face up left to right, quadrant to quadrant, and paint each quadrant accordingly, how they paint their face. So if you're used to doing that, or however you're painting, you're used to painting your face based on whatever size it was or used to be, then I can see that, because some of those lines would probably make sense because you probably wouldn't see them or they wouldn't be right in the light. However, the contouring is what the other is, or the contouring and the blending is what actually makes some of those lines disappear. But if your line was starting here and is no longer here, but is now down to here, or down to here rather, that's a whole different look for you as far as cheekbones. Right. So I'm not giving an excuse for her. I don't know what it is, but I agree with you because Lala Ree was the first person that I kept saying, like, girl, your makeup is stunning.
And for me, it's not the cheekbones, it's the nose contouring. Like you could see how they drew, like, I listen, I do not know anything about drag makeup, but I do understand sort of the process of defining. You got this nose that, you've got a black person's nose and you're defining a nose for a thinner profile. So you draw that line here. So you create like this artificial shadow line and then you sort of blend that in. But all she did was create these hard ass lines that started right here at the eyebrow bone, went down, and so she like drew this line with like eyebrow pencil like here, and then put this shiny ass dot on the end of her nose, and that was it. And Heidi was doing the same shit, and so it was just very distracting to me. And it feels like this isn't, I get that there are different styles of painting, but it just feels unfinished to me.
Well,
so
and here's the thing.
There is that.
Here's the thing, that line and that dot have been around for years.
I know, but it's usually like blended in, so it looks like there is a light on the end of your nose, which sort of draws focus maybe from this area. But no, they literally have a white dot, a visibly defined white dot on the end of their nose. So I'm just like, okay, girl, whatever. Also, Miss Darian Lake in episode 2, when they were doing that skit,
the dance number or whatever, was that the way they did the little?
No, when they were like the Jersey Girls.
And yeah. Okay.
The outfit that first of all, she was great in that in that skit, but her titties was out, like her natural titties was out, and they were very distracting because she's lost like 150 pounds.
Yeah. Or did she lose more than that?
A lot of weight. She lost, and she's lost a lot of weight. Half the size that she was before. But I felt like it was just very distracting because it was a weird shape.
She had on a shirt that I've seen you in, similar.
With the I cannot remember, but yes, when I watched it, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was like, bitch, I have that shirt.
It might not be the
It
same
was
color.
in the first episode.
Yeah, it might not be the same because I think yours were like a darker, like a maroonish something or whatever.
But it's almost the exact
but it's
same
almost
shirt.
there. But I looked at it and I was like, what? I'm like, okay. But anyway.
Also, the overall RDR Live, you know, like their Saturday Night Live thing, was cute overall. I liked it. I thought Candy did a good job as host.
She did.
I thought the sketch with I guess that was Mrs. Kasha Davis and Darian were the Jersey Girls. I thought that was funny.
That was Alexis Michelle.
Oh, that was Alexis Michelle. So I thought that was funny. For me, that was the highlight of that, and the news skit was the highlight. Although I agree that Kahana was she was like, I was like, girl, you have all of these examples of cat women. I mean, you could have given us your best Eartha Kitt.
She could have done something, and it was just like, girl,
right?
Even if you just did the whole, just get on stage and act like a cat. Like, I mean, just
like, I mean, you are a gay in Vegas. I know you have to have seen Cats. So I mean, you could just be like,
she wasn't doing.
I mean, yeah, she was not giving me Cats at all. My last observation from these first two episodes is that Kahana Montrese is the trade of the season.
She is, but
followed by Nisha Lopez. But
listen, let me just tell you, Kahana, Naisha, and Alexis out of drag, I'd have a little go with them.
I mean, I respect your opinion. Alexis is not an unattractive person, but she don't do nothing for me. But I might step to Kahana, maybe Nisha, but you know, it's not like I'll ever run into either of them out of drag, like just at the club randomly. So,
and I think that I would actually, now that I think about it, I think I would actually have a conversation with Lala Ray.
Oh, I would definitely. I feel like me and Lala with Kiki, and me and Heidi with Kiki.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I'm saying I would. I think I would try to holler at Lala if depending.
Oh, okay, yeah, I would not.
But could we laugh and joke? Yes, we could. But yeah. But Heidi, baby, I'd be laughing all day weekend long. I'd be like, girl, listen, what you doing? You coming down here, bitch? What are you doing? That's right. It. That's all I got for you.
So I think that was all of my observations for Drag Race. I guess
he said Alexis Michelle can get all of it.
Right. I will probably watch the rest of the season, but I'm not going to be like, oh, it's Thursday, I gotta catch up on Drag Race, or I'm not going to be like, oh, I gotta watch Drag Race in time for the show, because I'm not that interested in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch it sometime after this weekend because I have a lot of things planned for this weekend, so we shall see. We'll see when I catch it.
And I did watch Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, and it was so good.
I'll take your word for it.
It was, first of all, just her costumes, both as young Charlotte and as older Charlotte, were fucking amazing. And then next time somebody is having a crisis or something, I'm gonna be like, sorrows.
That is so shady.
Sorrows, prayers.
That is so shady.
Well,
I mean,
I got a few TikToks for us to watch.
Cool.
I was on my knees throating meat. I'm not very good at it, to be honest. And this ninja looked down and said, pathetic, laughing my yams off. I wanted to leave, but stayed to prove him wrong. Unfortunately, I failed.
Up off your knees, sis. Man is looking at you like this in pure disgust because you're using all that teeth. He said you were pathetic. At that moment, you should have took the meat out your mouth and got up off the knees.
Listen,
you know, it's nothing else but that cough. It's right. Like,
I'm gonna need the kids to have a little self-respect and dignity for themselves. If you are sucking somebody off or getting fucked or fucking somebody and they look back over their shoulder down at you and say pathetic, you need to stop whatever it is you're doing and not try to prove them wrong. Because first of all, if someone is sucking your dick, if you're sucking somebody's dick and they look down at you and say pathetic, they already don't give a shit about you. Because I would just be like, look, here's what I would do. Sorrows, prayers. But I just wouldn't, and I definitely would not keep going. So there is that.
Meanwhile, I've done a thing where I was like, "Oh, I'm so sensitive right now. I can't think. Thank you. I got. I'm good. Thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you."
All right, so let me go to the next one. Hold on.
So I was just picking up my vehicle from an oil change, and the person came out of the garage and said, "What can I do for you, young lady?" And I know that this was intended to be a greeting of respect and kindness or politeness, maybe. But I had this immediate, like, okay, young, maybe comparatively, I'll take it. But I was like, lady, what do I do with that? Like, it's so complicated because I know this person only intended kindness. There was a smile on their face. Like, I know that they weren't trying to like patronize me or gender me, but I felt so gendered and so inappropriately gendered. And I don't know what to do with that. Like, what do you do with that?
How about this? How about if you stop overestimating your level of importance, reciprocate the kindness, smile, get your car and get the fuck on. People don't have all day for this. Let me tell you something, flock of pelicans. Strangers do not have to buy a ticket to your circus. This world is a shit show as it is. It's to the point that when people are kind to you, you're taken back. It's a pleasant surprise. Like, oh, when somebody greets you with kindness. Because everybody seems to be pissed about everything. And here you come with your bullshit. Go sit down.
Flock of pelicans.
And because I
have thoughts on this.
What?
I have thoughts on this.
I have thoughts too, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
So my thoughts were, first, when I looked in the picture, I thought, I like the haircut. Looks
Right.
good on her. That's what I literally thought.
Right.
Then while they were speaking, I thought, well, maybe I did misgender them. Maybe that's a man. And then I thought about it and I said, you know what? I don't even really care. All I was complimenting her was the haircut. And so I also agree with this young man that, listen, nobody has time for this bullshit. Like, treat the kindness with the kindness. And especially because this just happened to one of my staff members. He's an older gentleman that's Southern, and he always says, yes, ma'am, and thank you, ma'am, and no, sir, and thank you. And somebody corrected him and said, please don't, like, I am not ma'am. I am not sir. Please don't. And I was like, okay, I understand their feelings. But for that phone conversation in that moment, I was sitting there thinking to myself, if I was my employee, why don't you just say, you know what? Thank you so much. Let me just end this conversation and I apologize and that's it and just move on. Because listen, I don't have time to deal with all the extra. I don't want to and he is genuinely trying to be nice with the pleasantries and be respectful because it's their Southern nature. But this particular young person, I don't think they really understood that. So I'm in a weird space with that right now. But I was in my mind, I literally was looking at the picture thinking, oh, well, hey. And, I probably would have said like, hey, ma'am or sir, I probably would have said that. And then if they'd have corrected me, I'd be like, I'm sorry, my apologies. And then keep on calling them correct what they actually want me to call them. So that's fine.
Right.
I don't know. I just, it's weird. But I agree with some of this, with what this young man is saying. Strangers, what do we owe you? We didn't pay for your shit show. We're just kind of here.
Right.
Take a compliment for what it is. That's it. That's all I got.
And I think because of our involvement in the community, we are aware, I think, of a lot more gender non-conforming people, or people who might present in ways other than how they like to be identified. And sometimes, and I tend to here's my thing. I generally keep my mouth shut because ain't nobody asked me my fucking opinion on it. But I also have a show called the BGKH show with Dominion and Epic. So this is my platform for it. And like, if I know that regardless of what your physical appearance may be, if you have a preferred gender or you prefer to be a gender or referred to as they or them, then I will do that.
Yeah.
But if you're just having a casual interaction with someone who is just being nice and it was like, here's your car, ma'am, or here's your car, sir, just take it and keep it moving. Now, I have the space, and I also recognize that I also have the space to say that because, despite the fact that we call each other bitch and she and they, you and I both clearly present as male, as masculine, as men. And so I've never lived in a space where I felt uncomfortable being referred to as men or whatever. And so while I hear that person saying, I don't want to be misgendered, the world isn't necessary. Every person that you meet, unless you wear a shirt that says, call me she, even though I look like a man, and that's wrong. But you know what I'm saying? Unless you have a shirt that has your pronouns on it loud and whatever, people are going to go with what their eyes see. It's just like a casual interaction. This person works at a car dealership. They're dealing with tens, 20, 100 people a day. Your barista deals with millions of people a day. And so they're trying to be polite. And so the expectation that everybody is going to be clued in to, your particular situation feels a little bit narcissistic to me. And I would love to hear what some of our trans or gender non-conforming friends on the show feel about the issue. Because again, I know that I'm coming from a space where that's not an issue that I have to deal with. But I have come from the space of being a Black person. I've never been misraced. No one has ever been like, thank you, white person. I've never had that. But I do remember a situation when I was younger. And this older woman, she was in her 90s. We were just having a conversation on the bench. I was in Minneapolis. And she said something about having gone, she said, I reminded her of this really nice colored boy that she went to school with. And could I have gotten upset about it? But I was like, this woman is 90 years old. She didn't say that fucking colored guy that I went to school with. She said, you remind me of this really nice colored guy that I met. I was like, she is 90 years old. What am I going to gain by trying to be like, we don't want to be called colored these days? I was like, girl, I'm not saying she's about to die, but I'm just saying it just was not worth the effort. Return the kindness with the kindness, even if the language wasn't, wasn't the appropriate, the totally appropriate use of that. And so I remember that story because of that. Because I'm like, you know what? Yeah, could I have gotten in that woman's face or been like, you ain't gonna call me colored? I mean, it wasn't like she said, you remind me of this nigger I used to know. I mean, she didn't say anything like,
because that's a whole nother conversation.
That might have been another conversation. And even then, am I gonna get in a fight with an old white woman sitting on the bench? I probably just been like, I'm gonna get up and leave now. So, sometimes I feel like we as minority communities, as oppressed people, assume that everybody understands all of our oppressions and are deeply invested in it. And if they say something nice, return the kindness or nod your head and keep it pushing.
Yeah. And that's where and I literally have been misgendered like a couple times in my life and been called like ma'am. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And I think at the moment I was kind of like, then I just said, okay, well, whatever. This is what I need. And so that's
right,
it.
especially like a car mechanic or something. I was like, you're never going to see this person again in your life. Why even invest this level of energy with it unless they purposely said something negative to you or about you?
Yeah, I don't know, but
Dylan says, I'm with you, Dominion. I've always felt I've always felt it was a narcissistic, unrealistic expectation to expect everyone to gender you correctly the first time.
Yeah. Now, in that same vein, if you are misgendered and you don't say anything or correct that person, and it happens again, and then you pop off, well, wait a minute.
Right.
The onus doesn't fall on me at this particular point. If I've misgendered you, please stop me and correct me and let me know what it is that you prefer to be called. That's it. You want me to call you Moose? I'll call you Moose. You want me to call you, the Iced Tea? I'll call you Iced Tea.
Right. And, perhaps one day we will get to a point where the use of non-gendered language becomes more acceptable. And I've even done it like at work, like one of my coworkers always talks about, hey guys, and I'm just like, let's try to use non-gendered language because everybody in this group that is receiving this email or is on this call, first of all, we know that some of them are women. And then even some of those people who appear to be women or men might not go by either of those. And Amtrak has tried to lean into, like, they encourage you to put your pronouns, in your email signature and all of that. But we don't yet live in that world. So I think we all need to give each other grace when people are trying to be nice, especially if it's a casual interaction. Now, if you got to see this person every fucking day, or if you feel so incensed about it, you say that person could have been like, well, actually, I don't feel like I don't generally refer to myself as a woman. I refer to myself as they, them, or whatever, or you could just not say nothing, taken your car and dipped.
Right. Yeah.
So next up, hold on, let me add that back to the stream. Share this tab instead.
All right, just relax. When she gets over here, just tell her how you feel. Okay. What's up, Rob? Hey, Jay. You got a fat ass.
Wait, you gotta play that one again.
Okay.
All right, just relax. When she gets over here, just tell her how you feel. Okay. What's up, Rob? Hey, Jay. You got a fat ass.
Oh, basically, he's so nervous that all he can say is, you got a fat ass. Okay, I guess that went over like a lead balloon.
I can't.
All right, so let's get into the stories. But so the first story we want to get into is we have breaking news to share. Not that breaking news, this breaking news.
Today,
you're not sharing the picture. No video.
What?
There's no video.
Hold, please. Oh, it stopped.
Yeah, we don't. If you're showing the video, it's still just you and I on the screen.
Yep, I'm doing it now. And now I am adding it to the screen.
There we go.
There we go. All right, so now let's go back.
today, our teacher taught us about a place called Africa. She say our mamas come from Queens over there. That means that we royalty.
I don't need you to love me.
Afternoon. That needs me a wife.
Even if we have to part, you and me, us have one heart.
I don't need.
Get off my land!
You.
I write you every day. Daddy! Nothing but death can keep me from it.
Oh, Miss Celie.
You must ain't got no kinfolk around these parts.
All I had was my sister. She was the only one ever loved me. I'm gonna hold my head up sure looks fine. It's time for you to see the world.
There's gonna be some changes made.
Put it on. This ain't me. Hush. We need to look like we belong. Now see this smile and color.
Ooh, sweet and loving God.
Showing my heart to the folks that I'm close to.
Now it's talking.
Hey, hi.
Dear Seeley, we are more than just kings and queens. We are at the center of the universe.
Oh, yes, I am.
Listen, I am booked for Christmas of 2023, so I'm already like I'm booked. I'll be right there in the theater.
Yeah, I'm 100% certain that I'm going to go see it, but I have trepidations that start with Fantasia.
So wait. All I'm gonna say is the electricity is turned off. I can't even get it out. If y'all see that damn Lifetime movie with Fantasia talking about her life.
And so I'm just, you know, I know Fantasia can sing, but I'm not a fan of Fantasia's screaming style of singing, which is interesting given that I love Patti LaBelle and Jennifer Hudson.
But she don't even scream as much as them two to me.
I don't know about all of that. I just don't see. I've never really cared for Fantasia's singing style, and so I have my own sort of classist issues with like Fantasia, and so it's all me, but I know she's going to do a great job.
But did you see the play with her in it?
No.
So I actually went to New York and I saw the play with her in it, like the first go round, like when she got out there and she was getting sick or whatever. And her singing that song was powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. Her acting was okay. Now, I do hope that she's gotten better, but then we also know that this particular role, the strength is not necessarily in what you say, but what you convey. And if she can still convey that, like much like Whoopi Goldberg did. She had lines. She didn't have a lot of lines. It was her facial expression. It was her movement. She did have some lines, but it wasn't nearly as many lines as Nettie. Like I think Nettie probably had more lines than she did the entire movie, and she wasn't even in the whole damn movie. Like a significant presence.
Right.
So
and I'm sure. Listen, if they're going to. This movie is produced by Steven Spielberg, who produced the original, and Oprah Winfrey. So they're not putting all that money. So first of all, they would have never put Fantasia in the play if this girl was like a box of rocks. If she could not. We make fun of Fantasia for not being able to read, but if she wasn't able to learn the lines and whatever, then and so also, this is probably one of the first times where, where people are usually like, oh, this ruins like a childhood memory. Like, I don't give a shit about, any other thing that's been remade, and I'll go see it and I'll love it. But The Color Purple just holds such a spot in my heart for me that I'm like, bitch, y'all bet not fuck this up. Y'all bet not fuck this up. Because, like, bitch, if The Color Purple came on right after this show, I'd be like, well, that's a whole wrap. Because if I start watching it, there's no way I'm going to not watch it all the way to the end.
The Color Purple is one of those movies where every single time I watch it, I get emotional.
Right.
Every single time. And it's always at a different scene or at a different part because I'm thinking about what that person was going through or in that particular moment, how it would feel. Like, it's just amazing. Like, there's several movies that do that for me. And which is really funny because one of them is that damn baseball movie with Gina Davis.
League of Their Own? Oh, bitch, that is very emotional.
Baby, at the end when they started singing, I was like, what? It was like this fucking air conditioner, these goddamn.
When they all were old.
Yes.
And they came back and little Stillwell Angel was all grown and everything. I was like, oh, that's Stillwell.
It was so, I mean, and with that movie in particular, it's the ending that always gets me. It's the fact that you know, how the sisters were broken up. It's the fact that Nettie was still there, and it's the fact that motherfucking Mister was the catalyst for everything. And let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna say this on this BGKH show live right now on this motherfucking May 24th, 2023, in the episode number 219. Coleman Domingo, listen, let me tell you something.
Get it.
You have 6 months to get yourself together. You have 6 months to get yourself together because you and I were in this relationship in my mind. We were already together, and I can't. And when I watched Danny Glover in the role of Mister, you know, I hated him
for years. I hated fucking Danny Glover.
6 months to get ourselves together. So listen, we got to build this relationship strong. Because I'm telling you, because come December, I'm gonna hate you. I'm gonna fucking hate you. I know I'm gonna hate you because if you do it right, I'm gonna hate the shit out of you. And just from that preview, when you toss them, the way you toss them motherfucking bags, I'm already starting to hate you. I just want you to understand that. But listen, we have 6 months to mend all our fences. I'm telling you, Coleman. So just
exactly. And you know he's a homosexual too.
And listen, don't do it. Don't do it. Get yourself together. You have 6 months. You have been warned.
Right. So I know you gotta go make a change.
Well, yes, but I was still going to talk about. We were going to go through these, but if we can do that now, either way.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, so we might as well do it now.
Okay. Well, listen. I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special guest tonight. Starkeisha's cousin is here. She's more like a sister cousin. But that's why I've been looking around the background. So she's here. She's in the background. She's getting herself together. So I'm gonna go help her get dressed real quick, and we're gonna get this whole thing together. And yeah. So just give me a few minutes. I'm still here. I just got my camera off, but I'm still here. I'm gonna be talking to Starkeisha and her cousin. So I'll be right back.
All right. So yeah. So what does everybody have planned for Memorial Day weekend? I know that I'm going to spend time. There's a couple of parties that I might go to, and you know I got invited to a pool party on Sunday, but I'm looking forward to some quiet time of not having to go to work and just laying around and doing nothing all weekend because that's really all I'm trying to do. So
a pool party? I didn't hear nothing about no pool party.
I got invited to a pool party, but I'm sure I can bring you out. Well, I'm
no.
Child, you see how sensitive the girls get.
I mean, you know, listen.
Bougie girl, don't try it. Don't try it. You know I love you. I love you so much. But if you came over here and tried to steal this captain, we was about to have a real bad misunderstanding.
Oh, Bougie, baby, listen. I listen. Y'all both out because you know I don't fight no big leg gals, and I ain't jumping in the middle of y'all because I ain't doing that. No man.
I'm not a big leg gal, sir.
I didn't say you was, but that damn Tyra. I'm not fighting no big leg gal. I'm telling you right now.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Did we miss Tyra's? We did not. Happy belated. We said it to her personally, but happy belated birthday, Tyra.
Yes, girl. Happy birthday.
How does it feel to finally be 21 years old?
She tried to be 22 because you know she don't want to just be legal. She tried to be 22.
Right. She wanted to be 25 so she can rent a car.
Well, I mean, you know, it does have its perks.
Yes.
But so listen, I'm still sending lots of love and hugs to you today, Tyra, because I know this was an emotional day. And if you can give us an update on what's going on, that would be great. Either in the chat or just message me or whatever, because I just want to make sure that you're all right. And
we absolutely did not miss your birthday, Tyra. We gave you a whole shout out in our group. I tagged you in a birthday message on Facebook. We did all of that. You apparently didn't check any of your stuff.
Well, yeah, that is true because we sure did. I even sent her a voicemail message in the chat.
Right. And I tagged you in a message on the Facebook on the day of and everything. You know we wouldn't do you like that.
Why you want to do me like that? Why you want to do me like that?
And in other news of people who will never be president, last week, Tim Scott, aka Mushmouth Come to Life, announced that he was running for president. So we'll see how long that lasts.
But you did not say Mushmouth Come to Life.
Spot the lie, though.
Mushmouth Come to Life. Okay.
Spot the lie. So that's one. And today, Ron DeSantis, the most evil man in all of Florida, perhaps the world. And that's saying a lot, given that Donald Trump lives there.
Yep. Hello.
You know,
you're gonna fuck around and find out when you deal with Mickey and the crew, bitch.
Right. So today, Ron DeSantis announced that he was running for president. So we'll see how long that takes for him to drop out. So, because I don't see it for her either. Because, you know, there's one thing you can say about Donald Trump is he don't fight fair. He don't play dirty. He's not going to do like other politicians where they will argue and fight all through the primaries, but then they'll get it together and be running mates or something, kind of like Hillary and Barack did, you know, where they ended up being friends and work colleagues. That's never going to happen with Donald Trump. You know, he need a little bitch like Mike Pence that's not going to say nothing. So, yeah.
So listen, they're already lined up. It's hard to keep them quiet, but they already lined up. So we are going to go ahead and introduce our special guest this evening.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, men, women. Introducing Epic and Keisha's cousin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Having a little bit of a technical difficulty here. Let me adjust my mic. Just a little bit of difficulty. Are you there? There you are.
We can hear you.
Today is May the 24th, and we are in mourning of our diva and icon, the one and only Tina Turner.
Anna Mae Bullock.
And for me, I wanted to come out and do this special poem just to show my appreciation for the one and only icon. My name is Starkeisha Soliloquy Haiku, and this is my poem. When I was a little girl, I had a rag doll. It was the only doll that I've ever owned. Now, I love you just the way I love that rag doll, but only now my love has grown. And it gets stronger in every way. And it gets deeper, 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 let me say. Then it gets higher day by day. A church house, gin house, a schoolhouse, outhouse. On highway number 19, the people keep the city clean. They call it Nutbush. Oh, Nutbush. You must understand how the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That is only the thrill of boy meeting girl. Opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. All the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their names. Deutschmarks or dollars, American Express will do nicely. Thank you. Let me loosen up your collar. Tell me, do you want to see me do the shimmy again? All the children say, we don't need another hero. We don't need another hero. We don't need to know the way home. Oh, all we want is life beyond Thunderdome.
Bravo! Bravo!
She was amazing.
Bravo!
Get off the goddamn couch, girl. Get your ass off this day. Go in the back. Go in the back. Get away from the camera. Get away from the camera, girl. Thank you. You're done. Thank you.
That was amazing. It was so amazing. I can hardly contain myself.
See, you know, I gotta give her a drink. Let me give her this damn cup of drink. Here's your cup of water, girl. It's faucet water. It's tap water, girl. That's all.
No. I feel like we need an encore. 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 Encore.
She's had her tap water and she's back in her room.
Boo. We need an encore. Encore.
Let me go and see if I can pull her out. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Star Keisha. Star Keisha. Star Keisha. Star Keisha. Star Keisha.
She's coming. She's
Star
coming.
Keisha.
She's coming down the hall.
Come on, everybody. Clap with me. Star Keisha. Star Keisha. Star Keisha.
She's coming down the hall.
Keisha.
She's coming down the hall. Wait a minute. She's all the way back. Girl, now she had to stop and get a damn Pepsi. That's what's wrong with you.
We love you, Star Keisha. Oh my God, Star Keisha, I love you. I want to have your babies because you're really a man. Star Keisha, Star Keisha.
You're doing a lot. She's coming and she's trying to pull together. She just can't get. Okay, girl, come on. Put the drink down. I gave you a couple. Girl, how did you get the vodka? What is wrong with you? Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen, returning for an encore performance, it's Star Keisha!
All the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces. You don't even ask their names. Deutschmarks or dollars. American Express will do nicely. Thank you. Let me loosen up your collar. Tell me, do you want to see me do the shimmy again. All the children say, we don't need another hero. We don't need another hero. We don't need another way home. All we want is life beyond the Thunder Dome.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed a once in a generation performance. We will never see anything like that again. I have goosebumps, and my goosebumps have goosebumps. I am so excited right now. I could just spit.
I am annoyed because she is, listen, in her rider, she asked for yellow M&Ms and Reese's peanut butter cups, the minis, and not the regular and not the king size, but she wanted the minis and she wanted them individually wrapped because she felt the mini bites were the same as the minis. Child, listen, we here, she good, and listen.
And so while we just had a little fun thing, the sad news is that Tina Turner died today. But for me, it's not sad. And I will tell you why. You know, Tina Turner lived through torture.
Yes, she did.
And she finally got the courage to get away from that torture. But because she was so intimately associated with Ike Turner, for the rest of her life, she could never really escape it. Just think about that. We saw that, you know, he raped her when they were married. He beat her. He terrorized her. And, you know, she thought writing the book to tell her story would be a release, but it wasn't. All it did was make people want to ask about Ike more. She said, okay, I need to get all of this out and do a movie about it. All that did was make her even more popular and make her have to talk about that even more. Can you imagine being forced to talk about your rapist, your abuser, like every interview for the rest of your life? People were like, hey, let's spend some extensive time talking about the guy that raped you. Now, we don't want to talk about how he abused you. We just want to talk about Proud Mary and all of this other stuff. And we know this because that documentary that she did like a year or so or 2 years ago, she talked about that, like how traumatized every time she felt, like every time she talked about Ike Turner or had to, you know, when she said she never actually saw What's Love Got to Do with It, because it was traumatizing for her, as you might expect. You know, who wants to relive some of the worst moments of her life and have it become like pop culture memes and stuff, and have Beyonce and her husband make a song about Eat the Cake and have it be all of that. And this is no, you know, I do not need to be Hive coming after me. So it's not that, but she's finally free of all of that. And so we can remember her for the huge and amazing talent that she was. But for her as a person, she's now free of all of the pain. I'm sure she felt a little freer when Ike Turner died, but now she's totally free of that pain wherever she is.
And it's so funny because you shed light on that from so many different angles. As a, you know, that made me think about family members that I know that have had some domestic abuse and how they just didn't talk about it. And when that person came up, because they were a part of the family at one point and then they weren't, and you know, sometimes they still came around and all this type of stuff. And it was like they were just quiet. And they were just like, and it makes sense. Like they're reliving it every single time they see these people. And it also made me think about my little brother, Chameleon, when he died, that his husband, they had a service for him in Tennessee, but then they also had one here in DC. So the thing is, his husband had to go through it, A, at the hospital or at the hospice when he died, B, in Tennessee with his family when they had a ceremony there, and then C, a third time in Maryland going through this whole process again. I was like, Jesus. And listen, that is probably one of the best explanations that someone can give about someone's possible feelings and the fact that they're reliving it every single time it's brought up. Mm-hmm. So, you know, my heart goes out to any of the people that have had these traumatic experiences. But it literally, what you just said literally brought it to light for me. And it was like, this is going over and over and over again. It's on repeat. So yeah, I'm sure it was not a good thing. And I do feel like you don't have to hear that conversation anymore, Tina.
Right.
Yeah.
We can still remember all of her talent. We can even remember all of the songs she did with Ike, but at least she doesn't have to relive all of those memories.
Yes. And Tyra brought up that she lost her oldest son died. And then I think 3 or 4 years ago, her youngest son died, I think. Because I think she had 4 kids and I think 2 of them were adopted and 2 of them were hers. And I think both of her children, both of her biological children died, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I know the one did. I think the second one was her biological child as well. But either still, she's had to bury a child. And as the child of someone who's had to bury a child, it's not pretty, and it definitely changes that person. So
yes,
yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. So
that's her spirit, and now we can still enjoy her music and her life. But there's also the lesson there to be gentle with people who have suffered abuse. And for you, it's an academic exercise, to be like, you were married to somebody, you're Jackie and you were married to your Aunt Jackie and you were married to Uncle Robert. The family don't know or didn't know at the time that Uncle Robert abused you. Y'all have gotten a divorce or separation, but Robert is still the father of your children. So he still come around sometimes and they are like, hey, Uncle Robert. And then you got to pretend like you don't want to stab this motherfucker with a hot poker every time you see that bitch. And of course, he's an abuser. So all he's going to do is try to push your buttons or whatever. So just be gentle with your family members when you know that they have been in an abusive relationship, or even when they just got divorced. We're not together no more. So I don't need you talking about, my ex-husband or ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. So
yeah. And it's weird too, because especially when you have children in that relationship and the children look just like the abuser. Right. It's like, what? It's like, okay. Right. Like, yeah, it's a lot. So, but anyway, I think this was a great show. Mm-hmm. And I am perfectly fine with this. I enjoy us getting together and just sitting and talking, which is what I feel we always do. And I enjoy the moment. So I definitely appreciate these. So that's my words of gratitude for you all for tuning in, especially because I know we all got stuff going on. Tyra, Dylan, Eccentric, I see Lola, Miss Sugar Snap, like a whole bunch of people. Nichelle, hey Nichelle, I didn't even get to see you earlier. Legionnaire, hey. So yes, we all have stuff going on. We really appreciate you just tuning in. But listen, let's get into this beautiful beam footage, and then we can figure out what we're gonna do next.
Are we gonna skip the rest of these stories?
I thought that's what we were getting ready to do, but we can go through them.
No, we can skip them. I mean, none of these were like super important. We can come back to them later. I'm totally. Listen. You'll get no argument from me.
No, I mean, listen. When we did it out of order, I was like, okay, so I guess we're gonna do this, and then
that was not how I meant that. But listen, it's fine.
We can do either or.
No, beautiful beam footage coming right up. Yeah, like I said, you are getting no argument from me. So here we go. Yes.
I'm reading Tyra's rant here, talking about what we did and what we didn't do. Girl, listen, you better check the messages because I surely left you a voice message in there. Yeah, girl.
Definitely, it was bright. I don't know if it was bright and early Saturday morning, but it was on Saturday morning.
It was before 12 o'clock on Saturday morning because listen, baby, I know.
Right, because I saw it before we dipped out to go hang out with Autonomous.
Right. So, but anyway, I hope that everyone enjoys their weekend. Please stay safe. While we are out of the pandemic, we're not really out of the pandemic. I want people to just be mindful that there's going to be some people that are going to be around lots of people and in spaces that are going to be really, really crowded. Keep your wits about you. Stay vigilant. Just be safe. Just be safe. Yeah, that's just my words for the weekend.
Same here. I don't really know that I have anything to add. Have a wonderful time. Take some time to rest, relax, and recharge. You know, these kinds of weekends tend to be, okay, so what we're going to do Friday? Okay, we're going to go to this spot and this spot. Then Saturday, I got this pool party. Then I got this thing at the Civic Center. And then I'm going to go to this park. And then I got a date. And I got to do this. You know, enjoy the weekend. Yeah. Take some time to just do nothing. Now, I'm not telling you if you want to go out and party and bullshit, feel free. But I intend to do some of that, but I also intend to sit around and sit.
Yeah, I'm going to probably be incognito from tomorrow night up until Monday afternoon.
It's all good. One of our former brothers sent me a thing about, what did he call it? Big Boy Takeover or something. It's like some events that's happening all weekend. And as long as it's not sponsored by Jamal, I might go.
So there's a split in the BBP family because it's no longer BBP.
It's called the Thicknick Events.
So that was Jay, and the other one is Tony. That's how it split.
Jay is the big light-skinned dude.
Yes.
They used to wear the fur all the time. Oh, he's cool. So I'll probably do that.
And then Tony is the other one who has his husband. But again, it's weird. It's weird. They had a falling out, and it's very weird. But because I'm hanging out with the BBP VIP deviant, I'm just walking the door. I'm like, I am not waiting in no lines. I'm with the.
So you're going to these Thicknick events or to the other events?
All of them. Mm-hmm, all of them. Mm-hmm.
I might see you. I might push through on tomorrow night. I'm not making no promises, but my Friday has opened up.
Okay.
So I might do something. But you know me, if I come, I'm gonna be like, hi. 10.
Bye.
So here we go. Hi. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.
And there it is. Yep.
However long it takes me to drink 2 cocktails, that's how long I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. And usually on these weekends, it's so for me, it has gotten to a point where, oh my God, it has been my first Pride in DC was 1991 or 1992.
Mm-hmm.
It was the year. What was the year that Mary J. Blige came out? Her first
92. That was 91, I think.
So that was that. I went 1 year before that, but that year was the first year from that year going forward that we had a song for every Memorial Day. And so that album was rocking that. So that was so it's been a long time. And so for me, when I go out to places and I see people now, it is a reunion. Like some of these bitches I haven't seen in years. Some of these bitches I'm surprised they're living. They're surprised I'm living. They're surprised that nobody's, missing a leg or a foot or anything else. And it's just good to fucking see you. If I didn't like you then, I probably don't like you now, but I'm still see
that part.
See you. It's like, okay, bitch, I'm glad you're still here. Bitch, you holding on. Bitch, you look good for 87. Bitch, you look good. Like, okay, come on. So, I mean, listen, I'm going to give you your flowers. But, so it's a reunion for me. Like, that's where I am now. Like, I'm just very happy to see people at this particular point.
Right.
So, but
all right, kids, it has been a lovely time, and I am ready to call it an evening, relax for a little bit, and then put myself to bed then.
Listen, I've already started on this cocktail. I have a little lemon drop that I made, and it was left over from last night, so I was sipping on a little bit. So I'm good.
Gotcha.
So yes. And Starkeisha's soliloquy haiku is she is packing her bag because she is mad that the room service did not fluff her pillow and turn down her bed. Girl, you better go on with that shit.
There you go. This is the fucking Red Roof Inn. What the fuck do you expect?
Girl, you got your yellow M&Ms and your motherfucking Reese's peanut butter cup and minis. Girl, go on about your business now, girl.
All right, everyone. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good night. Bye.